Sometimes the universe doesn't shout, it whispers. When someone isn't meant to stay in your life, the signs aren't always loud and dramatic. Instead, they come in the form of subtle discomforts, an unease in your chest, the exhaustion after they leave, or maybe the tension that never quite fades when they're around. You've probably felt these before. The feeling that something isn't right. But why does this happen? Well, according to renowned philosopher and researcher Joe Dispenza, there's a deeper reason behind these feelings, so stay until the end to uncover why the universe might guide you away from certain people before it's too late. You see, the universe doesn't always send grand, obvious signs when someone isn't meant to be in your life. Instead, it works through the quiet discomforts, the things you try to brush off. Maybe it's the way they make you second-guess yourself, the exhaustion that follows after every interaction, or the tension that lingers in your chest when they're around. These are not coincidences, they are signals. The universe is speaking to you through your body, your emotions, and the energy around you, urging you to pay attention to what your mind might be ignoring. Ignoring these signs doesn't make them disappear. In fact, the longer you resist, the louder they become. You'll feel the discomfort growing, the emotional weight increasing, until one day you can't deny it anymore. This isn't about blaming anyone, it's about recognizing when a connection has run its course. Holding on might feel easier at the moment, but it comes at a cost. Your peace, your energy, and your ability to move forward. All right, why don't we look at these 8 ways the universe tells you that it's time to let go? Now, these aren't just random feelings. They are part of a bigger picture designed to protect you and guide you towards something better. You don't have to keep ignoring the signs or carrying a weight that was never meant to be yours. So ask yourself, what has your body been telling you? What emotions keep resurfacing around this person? And trust me when I say this, these are not coincidences. They are answers waiting for you to listen. It's time to trust the signs and take the first step toward peace. First one on our list is physical discomfort. This would be the most obvious and one of the initial signs. Your body speaks before your mind fully processes a situation. One of the clearest signs that someone isn't meant to be in your life is the physical discomfort you feel when you're around them. Have you ever noticed how your stomach tightens, almost like it's in a knot? Or how your chest feels heavy? Or maybe you feel drained after spending time with them, even if nothing obviously negative happened. These sensations aren't just passing feelings. They're your body's way of alerting you to a deeper misalignment. The stomach, often called the second brain, is particularly sensitive to energy. If you constantly experience nausea, restlessness, or even headaches around someone, it's a sign that your body is rejecting their presence. You might try to rationalize it, telling yourself you're just stressed or tired, but deep down, you know when something isn't right. Ignoring these signs only makes them stronger. The tension builds, showing up in different ways: shallow breathing, fatigue, or even chronic stress. The universe uses your body as a radar, sensing things your conscious mind might miss. Pay attention to these signals. They're not inconveniences, but messages guiding you toward clarity. Next up is emotional tension. Some relationships don't weigh on your body, they weigh on your heart. Emotional tension is one of the strongest indicators that someone isn't meant to stay in your life. It's that underlying feeling of unease, a sense that you can't fully be yourself around them. It doesn't appear suddenly, but builds over time, becoming a constant presence in your interactions. You might notice that you're always overthinking after talking to them. Did you say the wrong thing? Were they upset? Why do you feel so drained? These thoughts aren't just self-doubt. They are signs of an emotional imbalance. Healthy relationships leave you feeling at ease, not questioning your every move. The weight of this emotional tension doesn't just stay with you when you're with them. It follows you into the rest of your life. You replay conversations, carry their moods as if they're your responsibility, and adjust yourself to avoid conflict. Over time, this constant self-regulation chips away at your energy and self-worth. The universe isn't punishing you, it's warning you. It's asking you to consider what you're sacrificing just to keep this relationship alive. A cycle of doubt and confusion. When someone is truly meant to be in your life, there is a sense of certainty. Even in difficult times, there's an underlying stability. But when someone isn't meant to stay, confusion takes over. You start questioning yourself. Are you overreacting? Are you expecting too much? Are you the problem? This cycle of doubt is exhausting. One moment, things feel fine. The next, something feels off. You can't put your finger on it, but you sense that something isn't right. The truth is, relationships shouldn't feel like constant puzzles you need to solve. If you're always second-guessing your feelings, or trying to justify why you feel unsettled, it's a sign that this connection isn't meant to be. The fourth point would be repeating negative patterns. Have you noticed that certain situations keep repeating? Maybe the same arguments arise, the same disappointments occur, or you find yourself feeling the same type of hurt over and over again. When the universe wants you to let go of someone, it often presents the same lesson in different ways until you finally understand it. These repeating patterns are not coincidences. They are warnings. They are telling you that this relationship is not evolving, that it is stuck in a loop that drains your energy. The only way to break free is to acknowledge what is happening and take action. Next sign is feeling like you're losing yourself. In a healthy relationship, you grow. You feel more like yourself, more aligned with who you are meant to be. But when you're with someone who isn't meant for you, you start losing pieces of yourself. You compromise your values, dim your light, and become someone unrecognizable just to keep the connection going. If you find yourself constantly suppressing your thoughts, holding back your true self, or feeling like you're shrinking, take it as a sign. The universe isn't asking you to change for someone else. It's asking you to return to yourself. Next would be the unexplainable blockages in your life. Have you ever noticed that when you're around the wrong people, other areas of your life start feeling stuck? Your career might feel stagnant, your motivation disappears, or opportunities seem to slip through your fingers. This isn't a coincidence. When you hold on to relationships that are not meant for you, they create energetic blockages. The universe works in alignment, and when something is out of place, it affects everything. Letting go of the wrong people often leads to a sudden shift. Doors open, clarity returns, and life begins to flow again. Lack of peace. Perhaps the simplest yet most powerful sign that the universe wants you to move on is the absence of peace. When you are with the right people, even during challenges, there is an underlying sense of security. But when you're with the wrong people, there is a lingering unease. No matter how hard you try, peace always feels just out of reach. If a relationship consistently brings stress, anxiety, or exhaustion, it's time to listen. The universe is guiding you toward peace, but you have to be willing to let go of what is standing in the way. And finally, the feeling that something better awaits. Deep down, you already know when something isn't right for you. There is a part of you that senses something better is waiting, even if you don't know what it is yet. That inner knowing is the universe speaking directly to you. Now, after coming through all of this, I want to say this shift isn't accidental. When you're moving away from someone who no longer aligns with your path, the universe fills that space with something else, something better suited to your growth. The more you lean into these new interests and connections, the clearer it becomes that the old dynamic was holding you back. You might feel guilty at first, questioning why you suddenly prefer other spaces, other people, or even just solitude. But this isn't about abandoning anyone. It's about honoring your evolution. The universe isn't forcing you to leave. It's showing you where your soul truly wants to go. And when you listen, you'll realize that you're not losing anything. You're making space for what was always meant to be. Letting go doesn't have to be filled with struggle. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing yourself to follow the pull towards something lighter, something more fulfilling. The universe is always guiding you toward alignment, whether through discomfort or quiet redirection. Trust that when certain people no longer feel like home, it's because a better path is waiting for you to walk it. The universe doesn't just push or pull, sometimes it removes obstacles entirely. When someone is not meant to be in your life, you'll often notice things simply stop working. Plans fall through repeatedly, communication becomes strained, or circumstances create distance despite your efforts to maintain the relationship. These disruptions aren't random. They are signs urging you to release what no longer serves you. Have you ever tried to force a connection that just wouldn't flow? The harder you push, the more resistance you face, missed calls, misunderstandings, or a sense of constant effort just to keep things together. All of these indicate that something isn't aligning. The universe is making it difficult on purpose, nudging you to stop resisting and accept that this chapter is closing. Instead of seeing these disruptions as frustrations, consider them guidance. When something is meant for you, it unfolds with ease. That doesn't mean relationships won't require effort, but there's a difference between natural effort and forcing something that's already unraveling. If you find yourself constantly fixing, convincing, or chasing, take a step back and ask, is this really meant for me? Sometimes the universe doesn't just give you subtle signs, it makes the answer undeniable. When the wrong person is in your life, their presence often brings more chaos than peace. You may notice that things consistently go wrong when they're involved. Maybe your mood shifts negatively, your goals feel harder to reach, or other areas of your life start to feel misaligned. These aren't coincidences, they're warnings. Toxic connections drain your energy, cloud your judgment, and keep you stuck in patterns that prevent growth. The universe responds to this by creating friction. It might feel like a series of unfortunate events, but in reality, it's a call to wake up. The discomfort you feel is not punishment. It's a sign that you're out of sync with what's best for you. The hardest part of recognizing these signs is accepting them. We often hold on to people because of history, obligation, or fear of change. But when the universe consistently shows you that someone's presence is causing more harm than good, it's an invitation to let go. You don't need a dramatic ending or a final confrontation. Sometimes the best way to honor yourself is simply to step back, trust the signs, and make space for the connections that truly belong in your life. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some people enter your life as lessons, others as temporary companions, and a rare few as lifelong connections. The key is learning to recognize which is which. When the universe shows you that someone isn't meant to stay, trust that it's leading you towards something better. Your peace, energy, and growth are worth protecting. The signs are always there, you just have to be willing to see them. Whatever the shift, it's an invitation to rediscover what makes you feel alive. This pull toward new directions often happens when a relationship begins to overshadow your sense of self. If you've started noticing that your time and energy feel limited, or that you've lost touch with the things that once brought you joy, this attraction to the new is your soul reclaiming its freedom. The universe isn't taking anything from you. It's asking you to remember what it feels like to move toward lightness and possibility. It's natural to feel conflicted. You might wonder if exploring these new directions means letting go of something important. But growth always requires change. The connections and experiences that make us feel most alive are the ones that align with our true selves. If you're being pulled away from someone, it's not a rejection of them, it's an acceptance of yourself. The universe places these urges in your life for a reason. Follow them. They are the breadcrumbs leading you to clarity, to joy, and to a version of yourself that's no longer willing to shrink or stay stuck. Trust where you're being guided. New directions don't diminish the past, they expand your future. When you begin to follow the pull, another truth often emerges. What you're leaving behind becomes harder to ignore. Emotional chaos tends to rise when a connection is no longer aligned with your path. It shows up as tension, unpredictability, and a sense that the relationship takes more from you than it gives. At first, it might feel manageable, an argument here, a misunderstanding there, but over time, patterns become undeniable. Conversations spiral into conflict, even over trivial things. You start to notice that moments of peace feel fragile, as if you're constantly bracing for the next disruption. This isn't just a phase or a challenge to overcome, it's the universe showing you that the foundation of the relationship is no longer steady. This chaos doesn't only exist in the relationship itself, it spreads. You might find yourself carrying the weight of these emotional ups and downs into other areas of your life. Your patience runs thin, your focus wavers, and even small tasks feel overwhelming. The energy drain is real, and it's a signal that the emotional turbulence is costing you far more than you realize. It's natural to want to fix things, to believe that with enough effort, the chaos will settle. But sometimes no amount of effort can bring stability to a connection that isn't meant to last. The harder you try to hold on to it, the more disruptive it becomes. The universe isn't punishing you, it's trying to guide you to something better by making it impossible to ignore the imbalance. The chaos itself is a message. It's asking you to step back and consider what peace would look like without this relationship. Imagine waking up without the tension of unresolved arguments or the anxiety of navigating someone else's unpredictable emotions. That vision of calm isn't a fantasy. It's what the universe wants for you. Emotional chaos isn't a normal part of healthy relationships. It's a sign that the connection is out of sync with your needs, your growth, and your well-being. Recognizing this truth can be difficult, but it's also freeing. By choosing to let go of what disrupts your emotional balance, you're making space for the harmony and stability you deserve. Ask yourself, is this chaos worth holding on to? Trust me, the answer often reveals more than you expect. If you're on this journey of self-discovery, comment down chaos below, because sometimes acknowledging it is the first step to finding clarity. After navigating all this emotional chaos, there's often one final truth waiting for you. Deep down, you've known all along. Amid the tension, uncertainty, and inner conflict, a quiet awareness has been there the entire time. It's that undeniable feeling in your core, a realization that no matter how much effort you put into this relationship, it's simply not meant to last. This inner knowing is often the hardest to face because it asks for honesty. It requires you to confront what you've been resisting, the realization that staying is costing you your peace. While the chaos around you is loud and disruptive, this knowing is calm and steady. It doesn't waver because it's not based on doubt or fear, it's truth. You may have tried to push this feeling aside, rationalizing why the relationship still has potential. You might have told yourself it's just a rough patch or things will get better if I try harder. But this quiet certainty doesn't fade because it's not rooted in circumstances, it's rooted in alignment. The universe doesn't plant this kind of awareness in you without reason. What makes this knowing unique is that it doesn't ask you to justify or explain. It's not about blame or fault. It's about recognizing what feels right for your soul and what doesn't. The more you ignore it, the more disconnected you feel, not just from the relationship, but from yourself. The choice you face now is not about them, it's about you. Will you trust this voice that has been guiding you all along? Will you let go of what feels heavy and make room for a life that feels light? These aren't easy questions, but they are necessary. Take a moment to reflect. How much longer can you carry the weight of what you already know isn't working? Your peace, your clarity, and your growth are waiting for you on the other side of this decision. The universe doesn't give you this kind of knowing to confuse you. It gives it to guide you. By now, you've seen how the universe communicates through your body, emotions, and intuition. It doesn't rely on grand gestures or dramatic events. Instead, it uses the subtleties of your own experience to guide you. Each of the 8 signs we've explored is a part of a larger message that your peace, growth, and authenticity are worth protecting, even if it means letting go of someone you care about. Letting go is never easy. It can feel like stepping into the unknown, trading comfort for uncertainty. But holding on to relationships that drain you, confuse you, or disrupt your inner balance is far more costly. The universe doesn't send these signs to punish you. It sends them to protect you. Each signal is an invitation to choose yourself, to align your life with what nurtures you rather than what depletes you. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Think about the people who make you feel light, supported, and inspired. Then consider those who leave you questioning your worth, your direction, or your peace. This isn't about judging others, it's about recognizing what serves your well-being and what doesn't. The universe speaks through every tension in your chest, every moment of emotional exhaustion, and every pull towards something new. It's asking you to listen, to trust what you feel, and to act on the truths you've been trying to avoid. The courage to let go isn't about weakness, it's about strength. Strength to honor your intuition and prioritize your peace. As you move forward, keep this in your mind. Relationships that are truly aligned with your life will never demand that you sacrifice your authenticity. They will bring flavor to your journey, not hinder it. The more you trust these signals, the more you'll find connections that bring balance, joy, and clarity. This is your life, and you have the right to protect your energy and choose relationships that reflect your highest self. The universe is always guiding you. It's up to you to listen. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights like this. Your journey matters, and we're here to support it every step of the way. If you found this content helpful, consider leaving a super thanks to show your appreciation and help us continue creating meaningful content. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.